Hey guys, how you doing? This video is going to explain exactly what our pricing is going to be and exactly what you're going to get for that pricing. This video has literally been 8 years in the making for me. Over 8 years actually, probably 9. But ever since I started K4, my whole idea was like, how do we turn this into something that people consider is a job? That you're paying for a service of planning, and how do we price that fairly so we're not pricing people out of the market, but we can also still be somewhat profitable, make a good living doing this, but never get too wealthy off of, certain individuals, because some people out there are making their advisors extremely rich, and I just wouldn't be able to sleep with myself at night if I knew that we were doing that to people when our advice just literally isn't worth that much money. So this has taken me forever to figure out, but I'm really happy with it. And it's basically what I like to consider a hybrid model between fee for service and, advisor for a lengthier period of time. And I'll do another video right away explaining for me the pros and cons of fee for service versus, an AUM type advisor that, you're paying sort of monthly to go along and keep getting that advice. Because some people are great with fee for service. They know enough. They only need, a couple tweaks and they don't need help for years. And other people are going to need a lot of things along the way, or just want that hand holding or whatever that we bring to the table. And I also really like the relationship part of it. So yes, later on, once you're set up, the job becomes easier, but that's good, because our job is to try and make you be less anxious about money. So let's get into it first, and let me explain that I have broken this down based on our actual logo. It was something Chad and I talked about when he first came on, and how people are in different stages of their life. You're climbing up that mountain, you're getting to the top of the mountain. That's like entering into retirement stage. I know a lot of you that watch these videos are in there. It's more complicated there. And then after, say, 70, it's easy again because you've made all the choices. CPP, OAS, RIF's about to start, everything's converted. There's really not that much more planning to do. You just might need some help along the way. So the prices are lower for people that are between 18 and 50 and 70 plus. And then the people that are in that retirement phase of 50 to 70 are going to pay slightly more than the people that are before that and after that range. So I'll explain it first. And there's two options that you can choose with us. You're either going to get a fee for service plan, which is going to take somewhere between 4 and 6 weeks for us to complete, not including your intake call. So you start with an intake call. We'll find out a little bit more about your situation, and we'll either say, I think you just need a fee for service, or I think you should hire us long term because of X, X, and X. And these are the two prices, and you get to decide. But sometimes I'm not going to let you decide. If you're not going to listen to that first piece of advice that I say, then why did you come to us for help in the first place? Because that's all part of it. Where I can tell you that right off the bat, I know you're paying $30,000 a year in fees. You're going to need our help to get you comfortable with lowering that. So you should probably hire us long term. You're really good, you just need a couple tweaks, you just want to plan, you're not retiring for 5 years, you want to check how you're tracking towards it, fee for service is probably perfect for you. So fee for service costs are going to be 75% of what we could potentially make in a year if you were our client, because that's the hardest part and the most important part, and that's actually the meeting where you're going to get the most value, for sure. But it's going to be 3 meetings. So you're going to meet with myself or Chad or one of the associates, depending on your circumstances. And we're going to get to know you. We're going to learn about your situation. We're going to confirm every single one of your numbers with you. And we're going to go away for a week or two. And we're going to put together a plan and a presentation for you, which is going to show, where you're at, some recommended changes that we think, how that's going to change your retirement plan, plus other recommendations, get a will, save this much, do this with your budget, restructure your debt like this, you might need some insurance over here. Whatever those other parts are going to be that aren't software related, we're also going to talk about those things. We're going to give that to you with the recommendations. You can read it over, and you're going to come back to us and you're going to say, okay, these are the things that I think I'm going to do and want to do and change, and here's my questions and whatever. And that's when we finalize the plan, give you your written plan plus the software analysis. You get to take that for years to come. Or you can hire us for the year, which is going to start the exact same way, but you're going to pay for the year up front. Or if you say, okay, I look at files all the time, I'm like, you're paying, $20,000 a year for those mutual funds or segregated funds you have. My first piece of advice is that I want you to lower your fees. I want you to invest there where it costs less. One of those options is obviously with us and Modern Advisor, and K4 gets paid monthly out of that, which is 1% up to a maximum. So, if you're under 50 or over 70, the maximum amount of money you can pay as a couple or an individual to us is $1,800 per year. So if you have over $180,000, then your fee is just going to start going down. Your MER is going to be lower and lower the more money you have, because we're not charging anymore, because our job is worth $1,800 in this case. So I'm going to say you can save $5,000 by moving it over here, then you don't have to pay out of pocket, and we'll just get paid monthly. But if you're not comfortable with that yet, you can pay us out of pocket. We're going to do the same plan, but now we're also going to try and help you implement it over the year, and we're on call for you. You're going to get quarterly reviews from Chad and Naveed where they're talking about the market updates. We're going to send you monthly messages about things to think about. You're going to get all the same plans, but you're going to get hand-holding and basically an on-call advisor all the time. And in that first year, we're going to meet with you once a quarter, even if it's for just half an hour, to make sure, okay, this is, how much you need. And then from then on, once the plan is in place, we pick that service schedule together. How often do you want to meet? You generally don't need to meet a whole bunch of times a year if you've got a good plan in place, because there's just like little things. And then now you're basically like booking a doctor's appointment because there's something big that came up. So if we're just looking at the prices of fee for service, for example, so the minimum we're going to do it for is $500. If you have less than $50,000, we will do it for less. If you're like, okay, I've got 30 grand, and I'm like, well, you can either pay us $500 out of pocket or move your $30,000 to Modern Advisor, and we're going to make $300 that first year. But then we're going to try and get you up to that, limit, because that's our job, is to make you have more money. You're not going to be able to do much with $30,000. So if you have $75,000, then a fee for service, if you're under 50 or over 70, and it actually in every case it is, right? Isn't it? Yeah. Is $600. 90,000, 675, 100 grand, 750, 125 is 937.50. We can round that down to 900. 150,000, 1125. 180 is 1350, and that's where you cap out. And then where you cap out from 50 to 69 is at $1,800 for a fee-for-service plan, because our limit on a year for people that are working with us all year is $2,400. So the maximum amount of money anybody can pay us in a year is $2,400. You have $2 million in assets under management. Your MER to us is 0.12. Yes, $2,400 is a lot of money. It's actually really easy to do planning for people with that much money. But there are people out there that are charging people with that much money $40,000 a year. So I feel that that's a fair price, but we haven't priced anybody out. And I know that we're going to do as good of a job as we can to help you build your financial plan. And the thing about it now is so many people that watch these channels are so well educated that you actually don't need that much help anymore. But so now you're just kind of paying for our opinion if you're in that place, because our opinion is still there. Most of the time, when you know a lot, my only job is to protect you from outside noise, which could be internal, right? So, you're nervous, you're anxious, I'll help you get over that. You want to make, a crazy decision with an investment or something like that, but I think that could break you. I'm going to talk to you about the potential ramifications. My job isn't to try and make you super rich. If you want that kind of advisor, that's not what financial planners are going to do. We're going to the basics all the time. And it's not that complicated, but it is still a job that a lot of people need our help with, and you're paying too much money for it out there. So we just want to be the best at it, and we want to be the fairest in the business, and this is something that I'm very proud about. I'm really excited about it, and you will not hear about me changing the prices again, because this is what we're doing, and I'm super pumped about it. So we'll put it up on the site. We'll finally get an actual sample plan on the site and sample analysis and whatever. I've just been kind of lazy and wanting to write some generic sample plan that people could read, because that just seems like I didn't feel like doing it. But we'll get that up for you. If you want help with planning, we'd love to be there for you. We're just that person on your shoulder helping you. That's it. Are we perfect? No, because nobody's perfect. This is sort of an educated opinion type of business, right? If I knew all the perfect answers, I'd be a millionaire and I'd charge $100,000 for this. But I don't. Cheers.